And 3, 2, 1. What is going on, everybody? It's your boy, the Lo-Fi Horror Guy, and
Wolf's XD.
Wolf's XD, my doggy. We are here. We're going to have a very cool episode for you guys tonight. I cannot wait. He's going to be joining right here. Boom. Full of fans, old and new, something tall and something shrew.
Makes sense.
What is up, man?
Hey, what's going on? How are you?
I'm good. How's it going, Johnny?
It's good. It's been a day. It's good though. It's
Good,
always
good.
busy. Always busy now.
yeah. I gotta adjust the camera here a second here.
Yeah, no worries. I'm trying to get my volume working and stuff too.
Can you hear us?
I think that's it. I can. Can you hear me?
Beautiful. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, just introduce. This is
Perfect.
my little doggy here. This is Wolf's XD. Wolf's XD is Johnny.
What's going on, man?
Hello.
We are both
Hi,
really,
nice to
really
meet
big.
you.
Both big fans of your channel, man. Absolutely love your stuff.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's been a while since I've been active, just with baby and life
Sure.
and everything. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's been a long thing that I've done for I don't know, 6 years,
Yeah.
maybe longer now. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
and it's fun too because it's one of those things where even because you haven't, been doing stuff necessarily not like recently, I still see people talking about your stuff, and I know I still share different things to friends, and people still talk
Yeah.
about it all the time. They love it.
Yeah, it was interesting to think about because initially when I was starting to do a channel, it was just something that like I was trying to find people to talk to for the most part because I was from California and I moved to Texas. I don't really know anybody, and I didn't want to be the creepy guy standing at like the horror DVD section in Best Buy, like waiting for somebody to come up and pick one. So I was like, let me just talk to the internet, I guess. And then I started to kind of just steamroll from there. And even though it's not like a tremendous number of subscribers I ever had or anything like that, it's a really tight community. And people just kind of glom together really easily in it. So it's gotten a lot of attention, a lot of shares, and I know it's made a big difference for a lot of people. And a lot of people were pretty enjoyed by it. So yeah, and I'm so active on all my other social media and everything too. So.
Right, right. It was always fun because it was the energy with it. It wasn't just kind of another like droney unboxings. That was how I found you, or how we found you, I should say, was through a couple of your unboxings, and I was kind of looking through a couple of different companies, and ultimately ended up choosing one or the other. But I watched a lot of your videos, and I was like, okay, these seem pretty solid. Yeah. So it was kind of like a tutorial too, dude. Like it was.
It was very, very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
And that's what I usually hear, right? Is that if people are a fan of the channel or what I was doing, it was because it wasn't just like here is this and here is this, but it was like I was excited about it. So it's easy for me because I'm easily excited. I'm like I was always a kid that was like a quarter machine toy and went nuts over it. But I'm easily excited and I'm typically very animated. So my entire life I've just kind of been a showman. So I wanted to kind of give it that sense of fun and excitement so that you can enjoy while I'm enjoying. Yeah.
Right. For sure. I know, because like I've said before, honestly, my channel has kind of spawned so much from watching your stuff for so long and being a fan of your stuff too, to where I was like, you know what, like, I want to keep on with the videos and kind of keep on with, this type of style because I really like it. And there's been so many times where, I start out my videos and a couple of times I've had to cut it out where I'm like, I hope you're doing well. And I start singing. I'm like, I can't do that. Like that's it. That's his thing. I can't rip that. That's not plausible.
I feel like I've heard that from a couple of people before too.
Yeah.
It's just like so catchy and ringy that you're just like, I hope you're doing well. I do it at work sometimes. Like I'll call somebody and if I have to leave a message, I'm like, hey, this is Johnny. I hope you're doing well. And then I'm like, that's not the right conversation. What is going on here?
Right. Sick. I love it. Well, so for the show, basically, if you haven't seen before, I have a couple of icebreaker questions to begin with, and then we have more individualized questions that my doggy here and I have come up for you, and then we have a finale segment that we came up for just you, the ThaHyperGeek. So if you're ready, man, we're going to dig right into it.
Yes, please. Let's do it.
All right. So right off the bat, if you can name 3 horror movies, maybe even recent watches that you've seen that you would recommend, what would those be?
Oh, okay. This is a tough one. So I know that. So given the state of the pandemic right now, everything's been real weird and out there. and I think I recommended this to you, and I don't think you liked it, but I would recommend, first off, Underwater.
I loved it.
Oh, you did? Okay,
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody else then.
Yeah.
But it's the only movie I saw in theaters this year, I believe, because of the whole pandemic, and I don't think that many people saw it, or they thought it was one thing, and it was really something very different. But that was a great watch. There's that. What else have I watched lately? Oh man. I would recommend My Little Eye is one that comes to mind. It kind of came out in I think it was the early 2000s when it was a big boom of kind of shaky cam, first person perspective, found footage, and
Sure.
it's people are stuck in this game show, but then they're being killed off. So that's one I don't hear people talk about a lot. So I would definitely suggest that.
Oh, okay.
And then if you can get a copy of it or check it out online, I would say Grim Prairie Tales, because it's one that I just recently watched, and it was really shocking. They had some really interesting moments that I was not expecting at all. And then one more, just for the hell of it, because I just remembered it, From a Whisper to a Scream is an anthology. It's amazing.
Oh, yeah. Where did you find Grim Prairie Tales?
Online. There was a site that does rips, then they just rip off VHS, and it's
sick. Okay.
I think it's VHSPS.com.
Sweet. Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out, because I know that's one I've been keeping an eye out for a while, and it just never seems to get released.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think I was just thinking about it too, because you mentioned Underwater, and I think initially I was a little torn, and then I might have watched it maybe once or twice after again, and it's amazing. It's so good. I absolutely love that movie. It was so awesome. So that could have been me, that I may have talked to you like 20 minutes after I watched it, and I was like, but yeah, it's definitely grown on me for sure.
Yeah, the constant, just nonstop barrage of tension and action throughout is just awesome.
Yeah, for sure. So now, if you and I were making a horror movie, all right, and I put you in charge of making the villain for the movie, what would we what would we do? Would we have like a werewolf movie? Is it going to be an oversized insect? What are we going to do?
A potato.
What's the villain?
I think,
a potato?
Did you say a potato? Well, I was going to say potato, but now it feels like my answer got stolen. So I love the idea of a killer potato. But no, I think that because I've had this idea in my head for a while, I think that if I were to make a horror movie, it would try to be something a little bit more psychological. And so that the villain is just a regular guy, but he's going through all these psychological issues, and he feels like the world's against him, and he's being attacked, but he's the crazy one, and just kind of go from there. Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, it's a surprising answer for me, I think, because typically I would go more creature stuff, right?
Sure.
Like, if I had like my druthers, every movie would have a little mini puppet creature somewhere in it.
Right.
But for the longest time, I've thought about that concept of like the man who is the hero because he's going crazy, be the villain also. Yeah.
Sweet. Okay. Very cool. So now, what is your horror origin story? Where did it all start for you, John?
I'm a kid. I was born in '84, so there was a tremendous wealth of options to choose from at the time, right? And kids in the '80s, in that mid '80s period, kids just got flooded with horror stuff. I think more than any other time, and of course I wasn't alive in the '70s, '60s, or '50s, but I can't necessarily see Val Lewton and the Black Cat being marketed to 12-year-olds, right? But we had Ghostbusters, and we had Gremlins, and we had Critters, which wasn't necessarily a kid's movie. Critters right behind you, right? But we had all of those things. We had so many things just being barraged at us, and it wasn't just the family-friendly stuff, like the little Slimer cartoons or anything like that. It was Toxic Avenger becoming the Toxie, the Toxie and the Crusaders, or it was even things like Nightmare on Elm Street. This movie about a serial killer that kills children is a squirt ball that you can squirt your friends with, so it was just so easy to fall into. It was everywhere. But other than that, my parents were very open to taking me to see what I felt like I wanted to see, and they would just show me things. And so I early on got this obsession for it. And some of my earliest memories are me sitting, like, we had like a pull-out couch in the living room we'd take out sometimes, or me like sitting under the table there, or the bed, and seeing Freddy running down the hall with his long arms. Or when I would go to my grandfather's house, he had like 2 tapes. That was it. It was King Kong, and it was a VHS recording of the TV of a movie called The Kiss. It was like a voodoo kind of horror movie, and those were the only 2 movies he had. So I watched those all the time, and it just kind of went from there.
Oh, I don't think I've ever heard of The Kiss before. That sounds interesting.
That's another one that a lot of people I don't think know. It's a really fun one. It's all about voodoo, and so all the kills and stuff like that are like voodoo related, and the girl made it happen. It's really interesting.
So what would you say, out of all the stuff that you've watched, what is your favorite horror movie and your favorite franchise?
My favorite horror movie in general of all time is John Carpenter's The Thing. It's just a brilliant piece of, and it was just like the anniversary a day ago. But it's a brilliant film in every way, shape, and form, and we watched it countless times, and there's so much to appreciate in it. My favorite franchise, it would be the Nightmare on Elm Street series. That is far and away one of my biggest, lifelong obsessions. And I have a lot of them, as you can see.
Okay.
But, Freddy's been there with me through thick and thin. So, definitely.
Now, you've gone, a little bit in the past, but you've gone to several horror conventions. Who was your favorite celebrity that you've met, and what was your favorite buy from a horror convention?
So, favorite celebrities is a hard one because I'm pretty particular about who I meet. A lot of people will go there and they'll spend all day a whole weekend in lines to get autographs, and I can't do lines very much, so I'm very specific about who I meet. I think the coolest person to meet was Tony Todd, because he was just so gracious, and he's gigantic, and I'm tiny, so it was a funny, kind of interaction. But to talk to him, and I told him a story about when I first saw Candyman in my dad's like old school 70s shaggin' wagon van, and it had a mirrored ceiling, and he was gobbling it up. But like the most meaningful to me was Clive Barker for me, because he's long been one of my idols and like my heroes, and I obsess over everything that he does. And then
so a recent watch that I actually had recommended, probably it might have been one of the first times that you and I had talked, and I'd messaged you about something and you had mentioned something in a story or something, but I recently bought this, and I need you to tell me about the first time that you'd watched it and kind of the history with it. What about this?
Oh my God, Fire in the Sky. Terrifying.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrifying. Oh man, so this is another one of those things where my parents just showed me whatever, right? And I turned out okay. I don't really have nightmares, and I very rarely get scared, but this movie caught me bad. I don't remember exactly when I saw it, but I know I was young, and it was when it first came out. I think it was probably like an HBO premiere, right, where they were like going in the cityscape, and it goes, HBO. And we were watching it in the living room, and we had 2 couches, and there's one that's against a wall and one that's on the other end of the couch. But on the back of the couch is just kind of open space and the door in the hall. And so I'm sitting there on that section of the couch watching this movie, and they're talking about the aliens, and I'm like, that's not really like a monster, that doesn't exist. Aliens could exist. I'm sure aliens do exist. So I'm like, this is getting a little bit creepy. And then the scene comes in. The actual abduction scene comes in, and I'm like looking behind me every 2 seconds, like, there's an alien here, he's gonna get me. And that abduction scene, no matter how many times that you see it, is absolutely bone-chilling, top to bottom, 100%. It's so realistic, it feels so authentic, and it's just so gross. That's one of the scariest things I've ever seen. So anytime anybody mentions aliens or anything like that, I'm like, Fire in the Sky.
Yeah, it's certainly one of the ones, because I kind of wondered, like, I looked online, and we're still a little particular as far as what we show little guy here, but, we try to be adventurous and have some fun stuff, and I was glad that I didn't show him that, because particular scenes came, and I was like, oh my God, that is scary.
Yeah. That thing's got some real guts to it. That's for sure.
There's some balls there, Very, very.
They need to do a better release of it. I mean, it's a bare bones disc, but hopefully they get a better release of it, because I'd love to hear some of the background on the abduction scene. So hopefully one day.
Yeah. Well, and then like on Amazon Prime too, they have some sort of documentary actually on the real case
Oh,
of whatever
really?
happened. Yeah. When we watched it, it's just after it was one of the suggestions, and I can't.
Uh-huh.
It's called whatever the main character's name was. I don't know if it says it on
I'm
here.
gonna have to
Thomas
add that
or
to my
Travis
list. Yeah,
is
yeah,
what it's
yeah.
called. It's
I'll
called
have to add that to
Travis.
my list. Okay,
So
Travis.
yeah. All right.
I don't have a pen or anything.
So
I'll have
then,
to add that to my list. That's for sure.
first one from the doggy here.
Let's do
When
it.
and how did your YouTube page and personality start?
So the YouTube channel, it was like I think I was just mentioning it was about 5 or 6 years ago, and I was kind of piddling around trying to meet people in it, and so I just kind of started up from there. I think my very first video was a Loot Crate unboxing, and it was like a bonus like New Year's Day crate or something. It's the worst video anybody's ever done. It's awful. It was the exact opposite. I was like, and here is this, and here is this. You can't find that video anywhere online now, so don't even worry about it. But the personality thing, it's kind of been since I was a kid. It's just this is who I am now. Anytime that you're going to engage a group of people or be in front of them or trying to explain or entertain them, certain things are going to get amplified, right? That's just the way that it is. So I do believe, yes, there's some of the heightened HyperGeek personality when it comes to the videos, but for the most part, like if I get into something that I'm talking about, if we were to meet on the street and you were like, hey, have you ever heard of Fire in the Sky? I'd be like, oh my God, let me tell you about Fire in the Sky. It's just, it just comes out of me naturally ever since I was a kid. So.
Okay. Yeah, and I think that shows through too, as far as like, that being, your true self, and that being, like not some far-fetched character, but it is, it is very much a personality as well. It's very much like, your like trademark thing, but it's just you.
Yeah, I mean, now, it has branding around it, which makes it kind of seem like it's more of like a personality thing. But yeah, that's just me. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Who are some of your inspirations for starting your show?
For starting my show, well, I know that looking back in the day, I was looking at, different unboxing channels on YouTube and stuff like that, and then I kind of just got in a hole of YouTube in general. So like I found like Jenna Marbles, and I thought she was hilarious at the time, and I was like, oh, this YouTube thing is interesting. People are getting on and doing it, and I was kind of understanding it a little bit of it. And then I started to get this is like my first actual engagement with YouTube was when I started my YouTube channel. But then as I kept going to YouTube, I started getting into like weird videos, like that kind of like dark corner of YouTube where it's like Pickle Surprise, and it's like mannequins, and they're doing it's weird stuff. There's some really weird videos that you can find.
I've never heard of those.
Yeah. And I thought to myself, if these people can do it, certainly I can do it, right? They're getting on and they're doing the weirdest things. For who? And I'm like, apparently for me, because I find this enthralling. And I was like, that's awesome that they just up and did it. And if they are going to do it, I'm going to do it. So for the majority of my inspiration, it was like, just whoever's doing the weird stuff on YouTube, I was like, I dig that. I'm not going to do that, but it gives me the inspiration to try and do it myself. So that was probably where it stood. Yeah, and then also in the very beginning, when I was looking up subscription boxes explicitly, I found Anthony Rapino, Candy Corn Apocalypse, and I watched his stuff religiously because he was doing Boxy Dread at the time. And so that gave me a lot of the fuel to do mine. Yeah, good questions.
Sure. Okay, cool. And like we've mentioned before too, you've always done great unboxings with stuff. What were some of your favorite subscription boxes that you subscribed to?
Some of my favorites, there's ones that I got for a long time. There's ones I got here and there. There's ones I really was excited to get, and some that was like, this is fun. My all-time favorite, bar none and all, is the Cryptocurium Parcel of Terror. Jason McKittrick does the most incredible work, and you're not going to get it anywhere else. You're not going to get it ever again. So that's the number one be all end all. I really loved the Nick box the few times that I got it. That was a little more expensive. but it had really good quality items in it, and I love like the old school '90s Nickelodeon nostalgia. And then I mean, there's been so many. I liked a lot of like what the box of horror block did in the very beginning. But I had fun with the most of them. But those would be my favorites. Yeah.
Okay. Now, when you were just looking at random different subscription boxes, was there a particular item that you would see, like, say, for instance, like a bust, or, it came with a t-shirt? Was there a specific item that you're like, ooh, okay, boom, buy?
I know I have a huge pin collection, like enamel pins.
Yep.
So I liked the boxes that did the really good style enamel pins. Like Bandbox was great about the pins. But if I knew that a box was coming with like, there were some that would, some of the names are failing to come to me right now, unfortunately. But there are some that would call out like big special items, and they were probably like more expensive ones. But it was things like if it was like a figure or if it was a mask, I thought that was really cool. But at the end of the day, if a box ever said anything about NECA, I was in there. That sold me right then and there.
Oh, okay, cool. So one of your trademark things always with the t-shirt was holding it up and asking if it was cool or not.
Cool.
So without getting into any, boxes or brands or anything, was there ever a time that you turned it around and you're like,
There were
I've
a
always
few
wondered.
times, actually. Yeah, there were
okay.
a few times. I'm probably thinking about like 2 or 3 times that come to mind. And there's so many videos that I did in such a long time. Right. So it didn't happen very often. But the times that I remember it happening, one was like, I just have no clue what this is. So I was like, is it cool? Is it cool? And I'm like, I don't even know. I don't know. You guys tell me. Yeah.
Right.
And then there was another time where I think I was in the box, like, because they'll say the themes that are in the box. There was like one movie or something, and I'm talking about, so it comes with this, oh, and it's gonna be something for this movie. I hate this freaking movie. I never want to see it again. It was terrible. This, that, and that was the T-shirt. And so I was like, nope, it's not cool. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. And I just asked because I'm not trying to promote, like negativity or anything, but it was always something that like came in my mind where I was like, man, I wonder if there was ever a time where it just kind of backfired and you're like, ooh, this is not cool. In fact.
They can't all be cool. That's the truth of it. Yeah.
Right.
And I mean, I think that people, it was interesting when I was doing a lot of the unboxings. There was a time there was like, I'd have 3 videos a week of unboxings to go up. I think that there was an interesting thing where people gravitated to the more negative unboxings because they felt that like you weren't being sincere if you didn't like hate on the box or something. You're always going to find things you don't like in it because it's a mystery. That's the idea of it, right? Maybe you don't like the product, maybe you don't like a theme, but I was never one who was like, if you don't like something, that's what you signed up for. It doesn't have to be like this whole giant charade of rah, 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 this is the worst thing, and they set it on fire. I'm like, okay. So,
right.
Yeah.
Right. Smash it right on camera.
Yeah. I'm like, give it a break.
Right.
What are some of your favorite things that you've gotten during unboxing stuff?
Let's see. I probably have some of them around me in this room, and I have, because I like to keep things very close. Now, this one, I think, came from the Zobi horror box.
Ooh.
This is a Jaws little mini bust of like a shark tooth, which I thought was just a really cool, unique item. Yeah, I thought that was super cool. This guy has been up here forever, but it's my Cryptocurium Sam from Trick or Treat, and that's, of course, one of my favorite characters. And then what else is there that really jumps out at me? There's a few things I know. Oh, I know what. So this is from Behind the Mask, also, and it also came from the Zobi box, but it's his scythe, and it's signed by the actor that played Leslie Brand.
Sweet, very cool. Did you get the I think it was the Zobi Fright Pack that had the Happy Death Day mask in it?
Yeah, it's right up there.
Oh, okay. So I was gonna say
Yeah.
that was the first box that I ever got based on, when I was watching your videos.
Uh-huh.
And then that was like the big item that I got. I'm like, oh my God,
Super
this is
cool.
amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
so cool.
I
I
actually
love
hadn't
that
even
thing.
seen the movie when I got that, but I was like, this is still freaking amazing. And then I
Yeah,
watched the movie and I was like, this is great. Yeah.
even better. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now,
Okay.
speaking of Sam, you brought up Sam as one of your favorite characters. Over the years, you have had some absolutely amazing Halloween costumes. So I need to pick your brain a little bit on what are some of the ones that didn't make the cut. You've had Puppet Master, you've had Sam. Dude, you kill it.
Yeah, well, thank you. It's been very entertaining for me to do. I was always crafty as a kid, and so I'd like to put together costumes when I was younger and try to do that. Um, but when I got into like high school, it just fell totally flat on its face, and I just kind of lazed about. I think that one time I just wore one of my friends like dresses. Another time I like wore all brown, and then I wrapped myself in tinfoil and said I was a baked potato. Like I don't know what was happening. A potato. There you go. Like I don't know what was happening in high school. I was like Satan, and I just wore a suit and a devil mask, and I was like, "Hey, Alan, these are terrible. The baked potato is the worst of all." Should save that for last. But yeah, I've had a really good time
That's
doing
funny.
it. My Sam is my favorite that I put together. Probably Ash from Evil Dead would be my next.
Mhm.
And then I think I really didn't. My 6-shooter was fun with the arms, so
So
I'm
sick.
still not
That
happy
was
with the way
amazing.
that blades and hooks turned out, but that's okay.
They
One
were
thing that
sweet,
nobody,
man. I absolutely loved them.
yeah, I think they were okay. Thank you. I think that one thing that was really good that nobody ever saw, I don't even have a picture of it anywhere. I'm so disappointed. But it was when I was like in my early 20s. I was Frodo from Lord of the Rings, and
Okay.
I'm like Hobbit sized in real life, so it was pretty perfect, and it looked 1,000% it. So.
Oh, dang. Okay. All right. Now, when you were deciding on like the Sam and horror characters, were there any, to where like one year you were like, man, I really want to be a Tremor, and it just didn't work out?
Yeah, well, if Tremor came to mind, it would certainly not work out because I have no idea how you'd do that.
You walk
But
around as a big worm.
yeah, just roll around on the ground the entire time. No, I think that the one that really missed out was after I did Blade and I settled on 6-shooter. I really wanted to do Tunneler. I thought I could do a really cool Tunneler, and I was doing research and I was trying to work it out with like electronics and stuff for a really long time. I was like, this just is not going to work. This is way too much effort for this because I wanted the head to be able to spin at the push of a button.
Oh,
Maybe one
dang.
day I'll be able to do it, but we'll see. Yeah.
You should do someone from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
Mortal Kombat. I do love me some Mortal Kombat. Yeah.
that'd be pretty sick. There's all
Um,
sorts of sweet characters in that.
yeah. I like the Scorpion and Sub-Zero, probably like the easiest to pull off, right? But like, I don't know. I'd have to think about that. There's some great ones in there.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Right here.
If you could have one horror movie villain or monster from any movie as the villain in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, who would it be and why?
As the villain, that's a good question. That's a really good question. It would. Oh, I think that's coming to me pretty easily right now because I'm thinking it would have to be the Thing alien.
Ooh.
Because could you imagine the moving around and them taking control of each other, and then they can fight a whole bunch of like the foot that are like actually the Thing, and so then they're in their foot suit, but then the arm explodes and they start attacking like crazy. That has so many possibilities. It would be so fun animated, and it would give Donnie a chance to do some really good science work. So
Okay. I like it.
that's it. Yeah.
I like it. Very good. We were talking about this, and the first thing that came to mind as far as something from my mind was the old Herbert West in Reanimator, the green ooze.
That's a really good. That's perfect, actually.
Dude, a comic book. Like, how doesn't that exist?
That's actually really good.
It'd
Yeah.
be amazing.
And he could bring, like, if their old enemies died, he could bring them back to life. And
Yeah.
that'd be like zombies. That's a great idea too. I mean, the possibilities are kind of endless. I don't know if you watched not the latest iteration, but the one just before it of the Ninja Turtles, because they have the Rise of the Ninja Turtles right now, which I haven't seen, but then the one right before it, that series was fantastic. I mean, it was the best. I think the best iteration of the characters' personalities that they've ever done. But there's a whole season. I think it's like season 3 or something that's basically one long horror movie reference. They reference everything in this. They do Cabin in the Woods, Evil Dead, Alien. They do this. They reference The Thing. They have a character that's Jason. They have Dream Beavers, one of which is, and they haunt your dreams, and it's voiced by Robert Englund. And there's another one that's voiced by the Crypt Keeper. They do a whole Big Trouble in Little China episode. It's insane. It's amazing.
I thought you were talking about the latest movies. So this is a TV series?
This is the TV series. Yes.
Okay. What is that on? Is that on like one of the streaming platforms?
Yeah, you can see it on Hulu now. It's on Hulu. But if you start looking for those episodes, they start when they go out of New York into the woods. But there's amazing stuff. They have a chainsaw on a wall in this little gas station, and it says the saw is family on it. Like they are screaming from the rooftops. It's awesome.
Dang! Wow. Okay, that's sick. That's sick. All right, so this has been absolutely sweet. I have absolutely had a great time with all of the questions and all of your answers. Certainly. Do you have anything that you'd like to plug? Anything new that's coming up? Anything that you have new going on with you?
Well, yeah. Thank you. First and foremost, thank you. I had a great time talking to y'all too. You had great questions, and my brain like pauses sometimes when I'm like trying to think of something because I'm getting old. But right. I think I was trying to keep up with them. Nothing that's going on right now. I am very active though on social media. So if you wanted to find me, it's at ThaHyperGeek, ThaHyperGeek. Everything's spelled correctly except for the, which is the, because I'm from the street. Right. So you can find me there or on Facebook, Johnny Tellez. But, right now it's all just basically my daughter and politics because I'm getting older. But, my daughter, she's 13 months old. So that's my big new project. That's what I'm working on right now. That you should keep an eye out for is Ramona Salem. But that's about it. Yeah.
Okay. Now, one thing I can tell you, man, when they're getting a little bit older is they are the perfect prop for made-at-home scary movies.
Oh,
dude,
that'll be a blast.
It's going to be so fun.
Idea.
Yeah, because I know you and the wife both are very involved in horror movies, and you guys just you whip out even an old iPhone and start throwing together some cheesy effects, and
that's what we do.
That's what we do.
That's awesome. I love it. Yeah, and she's so little, so she's a little tiny terror, and those are like my favorites, So yeah, awesome.
Right. That's fun.
Run around and
all right. So
cheesy
now
lines.
for our finale,
I like killer baby movies a lot, so that'll work out well.
That'll be perfect once she starts walking. Is she walking?
Yeah, which she's doing sort of a little bit. Yeah, I mean not a little bit, like a lot of it.
Okay.
Like she'll keep falling, but it falls like every couple of minutes. But she'll go for like 20 minutes at a time. Yeah.
Oh, holy man! They grow fast, man. You gotta watch them when they're that teeny, because next thing you know, they're humongous.
Yeah, I'm trying.
So now,
well, thanks so much.
No, I have one. I got one more. We have our finale. Yeah. This is our our final segment for you. So we are calling this the Hyper Box. All right, this is our final our finale. All right. So for this, we're making your dream subscription box. Okay. So in this box, we're going to have a T-shirt, a Blu-ray from whatever favorite distribution company you have, a bust, and a signed prop. What are these items going to be in your favorite? What movies are they going to be based on? So first of all, you have a T-shirt.
Great idea. Okay, a T-shirt. The T-shirt would have to be something flashy that not a lot of people would recognize, but you can have a lot of cartoony fun with. We're going to go Freak. It's going to be a Freaked T-shirt.
Okay, very good. Yeah. That's one of those ones that it's scary and it's real life.
It's a weird one. Yeah,
it is. Okay, and then for the Blu-ray.
The Blu-ray, if you could get me it's not produced, it's not anywhere, so you can't. but I'm really dying to watch Food of the Gods Part 2. But can't get that. So otherwise, I would think it would have to be probably like a special release Vinegar Syndrome release, because they're my favorite releasing lately.
Oh, yeah. Very, very cool. So we have the T-shirt, we've got the Blu-ray, and then we've got a bust. What's the bust going to be based on?
The bust. Let's see. I think I would like the bust to be based on Ghoulies.
Ooh,
Give me one of them little Ghoulies. I love Ghoulies. Yeah.
Maybe the toilet, maybe a diploma.
Yeah, the toilet with them coming out. Yeah.
Okay. All right, sick. And then if you had a signed prop from a movie.
A signed prop. I think that I would probably want that signed prop to be a lament configuration.
Ooh.
That'd be a pretty damn good one. Yep.
Dang. All right. That's sweet. I mean, I don't know how much that would cost, but I'd be there to buy it.
I think that I'd have some problems with the wife if I did. But yeah. Because that'd be an expensive box.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, it'd be a good one though, nonetheless. So
yeah, for sure.
I absolutely appreciate it, Johnny. Thank you so much for being on. What a great episode! What a great cat! I can't wait until you get back to doing some of the stuff. And in the meantime, I love keeping in touch. And anybody that's watching and following, make sure that you follow him if you already don't. He's got great content, super cool, personable cat. So check him out.
Appreciate it. This is great. Yes.
You got a question? All right, dude.
Do you like Krampus?
I love Krampus. Actually, I have sitting in my closet a gorilla suit, like a full body gorilla costume, a broom, and then a couple of other things that I got from Target, like 50% off day after Halloween clearance, like 6 years ago, and I've just never gotten around to it. But I am destined to build a Krampus suit.
Oh man!
So I'm just holding it like one day I'm gonna do this. I absolutely love that whole piece. Yeah.
Yeah, man, that'd be so sweet. That's I'm super just in love with Michael Dougherty's stuff, and then he's doing King Kong vs. Godzilla, right?
That's what I think. Yeah, that's what they're working on.
Yeah, very cool. That was actually one of the first movies him and I watched together. So that's so good. Very good one, dude. You can't get past it.
Excellent. No.
Very cool. All right, man. Well, good to see you, and you take care and stay safe in all this, and we'll keep in touch, buddy.
Most definitely. Thank y'all so much. This was great. You had great questions. Totally enjoyed myself. Appreciate it.
Awesome. All right, buddy. Thank you
See
so
you
much.
later.
Bye. You guys take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
He's a lo-fi horror guy. Yeah, he's kind of a guy, but he is so lo-fi, a horror guy. Yeah, baby.